Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Interval, a musical theatre podcast with me, Jess,
And me, Tyler.
where we'll be discussing all things musical and all things theatre. Enjoy! Welcome back to The Interval, a musical theatre podcast. Today we're going to be talking about jukebox musicals, everything we love about them, and some of our controversial opinions. But first, some news. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button has extended its West End run. It will now be playing until Saturday the 26th of April 2025 and will extend its run on a rolling basis, releasing new tickets every Monday, so be sure to get your tickets as soon as you can. And Oliver has extended its West End season once again. It's now booking to Sunday the 29th of March 2026.
In other news, the filmed version of Six, featuring the show's original cast, has announced a cinema release. It's going to be screened across UK cinemas on the 6th of April 2025. So if you haven't seen Six, or you have seen it and you want to see it again, go and book your tickets now. And finally, a new West End casting has been unveiled for Wicked.
Woo!
Yay.
Mark that one on your bingo, folks.
From the 25th of March 2025, Emma Kingston will be playing Elphaba. ZZ Strallen will be playing Glinda. Carl Mann, who was recently on the UK tour, will be reprising his role as Fiero.
And back to me in the studio. So, Tyler, we're on the topic of jukebox musicals. With that in mind, what song would you play on the jukebox? One song came into my head instantly and I have no idea why. You do the same. Which is the first song that came into your head?
What's your song?
These boots were made for walking. I don't know why.
Man, I Feel Like a Woman by Shania Twain. That's my pick.
And I love the fact that there's no explanation for either of them. Today, we're going to be talking about jukebox musicals. For the uninitiated of you, jukebox musicals are essentially musicals that use pre-made songs in their show. Some musicals will build the story around the songs, other ones will use the songs and squeeze them into the story, which doesn't always work. I have controversial opinions about jukebox musicals. What do you think about them, Tyler?
No, I don't mind them. They're not. I don't know if I would particularly. If you gave me a lineup of shows and said, what do you want to see at the weekend? I don't know if I'd go for a jukebox musical if there was, non-jukebox musicals in the conversation.
That is exactly my point. For context, I specifically said to Tyler I'd like to do an episode on jukebox musicals because, and I'm going to contradict myself a lot in this podcast, I don't like them at all. They really grind my gears. If you are looking at a lineup of shows, like Tyler said, you're not going to pick a jukebox musical. And if you are, alright, fair enough. Certain jukebox musicals force the songs into their story and it just feels lazy and it just feels odd. I want to go to a musical where it's completely new and exciting and the music is something I've never heard before. Not a rendition of Under Pressure that doesn't quite sound like Queen. The problem is I have musicals that don't count in that situation.
So now that you've told us how you don't really like jukebox musicals, Jess, would you like to tell us about some of your favourite jukebox musicals?
So I actually have quite a long list. Ironically, my top 3 are all musicals that I have seen live. Moulin Rouge, My Baby, Nothing Can Ever Hurt You, everything bad I say about jukebox musicals is not about you. You don't count. Moulin Rouge doesn't count, and I will tell you for why. No one can speak ill of Moulin Rouge. I think it is one of the best musicals I've ever seen in my life.
I can't yet because I'm not allowed to listen to it.
I know, and I actually feel slightly bad for doing that because it is just... I was listening to it today in anticipation of us recording this. Oh my god. Also, we know why Tyler hasn't listened to Moulin Rouge, because we know who the lead singer is, Aaron Tveit. Absolutely smashes it. Not the point. I watched it with Jamie Moscato in it. Oh my great heavens, Tyler, it was the best thing I've ever seen. Jamie. As Christian, oh my god. And the staging, if you haven't seen or haven't been to Moulin Rouge, Google the staging. It is beautiful. Moulin Rouge, Nothing Can Ever Hurt You, My Baby, I Love You, You Don't Count. What also doesn't count is Bat Out of Hell, which is one of the first musicals I ever saw with my fiance. It is the Meatloaf album, Bat Out of Hell. That album was written to be a musical, and that's it musicalized. New word. That doesn't count. That one's fantastic. Third, The Choir of Man. Only recently saw that. Jaw-droppingly amazing. Also does not count despite the fact it uses pre-made songs. It uses the songs to dive deeper into how the person is feeling, not using them to tell the story, if that makes any sense.
I haven't seen Choir of Man. I have walked past the theatre and taken a photo.
You did. You took a photo and sent it to me just before I was going.
I took a photo because Jess forgot to take a photo. So now when you want to look back on that memory,
It's just
you can just look at the picture of me and James.
you and James, our beloved games editor and friend. This is my thing though. I don't like jukebox musicals that force the music into the story and it just feels disjointed, of which I will call out the exact musical I'm talking about in a minute. Moulin Rouge perfectly blends songs together in its music. It's such a clever mix that if you listen to one of the songs, whenever the first part of that song comes on in like normal radio or something, you will automatically go into the next song. It gaslights you into thinking that's how it goes. Elephant Love Medley is one of the greatest medleys I've ever seen in my life. And I cannot slate Moulin Rouge just because it's using those songs, because it takes them and it makes something new out of it. Bat Out of Hell is the same thing as a Green Day musical. It takes the album and makes it, it's already meant to be a musical. Doesn't count. Choir Man, stellar performance. But what it does is it's literally a bunch of people in a pub singing songs. That's the point of the musical, not other jukebox musicals that forces them in. Speaking of that, Tyler, what are your favourites? Because I think I've just accurately described one of yours when I don't mean it to do, because it's actually quite good.
I have not seen many jukebox musicals, but I have seen one quite a lot. My favourite jukebox musical is Mamma Mia. I am going to both defend and slightly tear apart. I love Mamma Mia. Watch a show that everyone's going to have fun at. I will always say Mamma Mia. I love it, and I think it's flawed, but I love it anyway.
We were having a discussion about this before the podcast, and I was like, I'm not the biggest fan of Mamma Mia. And Dancing Queen came on my Spotify, and you can't not love it. The music is fantastic.
So a bit more context. I grew up listening to quite a lot of ABBA. Then when I was 9, I opened my birthday present and it was an envelope and there was tickets to this thing called Mamma Mia. And I didn't know what it was. And I got told it was a musical. And I went and I saw Mamma Mia and I just thought it was the best thing in the world. And it was so fun. And I loved it so much that I kept getting Mamma Mia tickets for my birthday.
Oh, wait, so this was like a yearly occasion for you?
From when I was 9 until I was about 12, I would just go and see Mamma Mia for my birthday every year. And I've seen it quite a lot of times since.
That's really sweet. That's really... Oh, I can't be mean about Mamma Mia. I get it. Like, as a musical, Mamma Mia is just so fun. Like, the songs are recognisable. It's so bright and exciting.
It's funny as well. I forgot how funny it was. So, despite my love and praise for this musical, I don't think it's perfect. I think the story is pretty ridiculous and silly. We're going to learn a bit about what Mamma Mia is about, in case anyone listening doesn't know.
Go on, tell us the story.
It's about a young girl called Sophie. She lives on a Greek island with her single mother, Donna, who runs one of the local hotels. Sophie's getting married in a couple of weeks and she's never known her dad and she's always felt like there was something missing. So she looks in her mum's diary and she finds out she may have 3 possible dads. You know, good for Donna.
Yeah, fair play to her.
You go.
You go, girl.
Sophie sends letters to all 3 of them without Donna's knowledge. Gets to a few days before the wedding. Donna's friends, who are
icons.
They're fantastic. We need to talk about who we'd be in Mamma Mia. The answer is we'd be the friends.
We absolutely would be. Would you be the short one and I'd be the taller one? Tanya and Rosie. Rosie's the shorter one and Tanya's the taller one.
I can do that because that means I get to sing Take a Chance on Me, and that's one of the funniest
Oh, that is
songs
such a good song.
The way they block that on stage, I think it's quite similar to how they do it in the film.
Is it? Amazing.
Yeah, it's great. Where was I?
Everyone's arrived at the just before the wedding.
Yeah, everyone's arrived on the island before the wedding, and Donna is quite shocked when she sees
her flings sitting there waiting for her.
I just love how camp this musical is, because in the stage production she sees them, everything freezes except her, and then she starts singing the song Mamma Mia.
Amazing. And
that's just after she sees one of them had an affair with her, and she didn't know that he was married.
Which one was it?
It was Sam.
Oh, Pierce Brosnan. Sam.
Yeah.
Got it. The one that really couldn't sing in the actual Sam. Sorry, Pierce, if you're listening.
That's the general setup for the show. It seems pretty thin when you say it out loud, but it it works weirdly.
Ironically, one of the reasons that it works is because it's a jukebox musical. If they used original music and it had not been an ABBA production, then it would have been as successful as it is.
No! Who wants to go and watch a show about a girl who's like, oh, I don't know who my dad is. Let's try and find out.
Yeah, like it's such a weak plot line. Well, I was gonna say, like, it shouldn't work because it kind of forces the songs in there. Everyone going silent and freezing while she sings Mamma Mia. Put that song on from ABBA and tell me that that's what you see, because it is not true. Like, how? It shouldn't work.
Like, there's weird moments like that, and there's moments where I genuinely think it works quite nicely. So after Donna's seen them, she goes into her room at one point, and her Tanya and Rosie come in, and she's freaking out. And they're saying, no, it's fine, you're going to come out with us tonight. And then they go into Dancing Queen. It's just really nice.
Another one that I can think of with that, Slipping Through My Fingers.
I can't listen to that song because it makes me cry.
I can't listen to that song. It's about a child leaving or growing up and leaving. It's heartbreaking, but it fits so perfectly, and I think that's what it does. It's a comedy at the end of the day, so it makes sense that some things are a little bit wacky, but that one's done really tactically.
Donna sings it as she's helping Sophie like put her wedding dress on.
Yeah, Mamma Mia I think is something special. It's like the perfect jukebox musical, I think is the best way of saying it.
I love the encore as well, because you get the ending of the show where, spoilers, Sophie and Sky, her fiance, decide not to get married. This is when they're literally standing at the altar to get married.
Making it a completely pointless plotline.
Yeah, she just turns around and goes, actually, Sky, I don't think I want to get married. And then everyone gasps. And she goes, no, I mean, I still want to be with you. And then everyone gasps again in relief. It's so good. And then she explains, like, oh, I want to go and I want to travel with you. Because the whole time they're talking about, going off and traveling together. And she says, like, I don't think we need to get married to do that. That's all fine. And they're fine and happy, even though they're not getting married. And then Sam suddenly says, "Why waste a good wedding?" And that's like that's my favorite line in the show. And he starts singing, "I do, I do, I do, I do, I do, I do, I do," because it's got like 15 I do's in the song title.
It does.
And he sings this to try and convince Donna to marry him. And there's a pause, and then you just get all the ensemble singing, "Say I do," and like staring at her. I mean, the pressure, please. This poor woman.
And she's just basically nicked her daughter's wedding.
So Donna does say I do, and then Sam and Donna get married instead, and Sophie and Sky go off at the end. So that's the ending of the show, and then after the ending you get this really fun, like, fourth wall breaking encore where Donna and Tanya and Rosie come back on stage and ask the audience if they want, more. And then they just sing, like, the same songs again. It's great. I love it. Everyone in the theatre gets up and, claps and dances. And it's really, really fun.
That kind of reminds me of, like, the Choir of Man does a similar thing. The Choir of Man's really weird because it actively encourages you to use your phone and take pictures and videos, which I've never been more uncomfortable in my life. Having to get my phone out in the middle of a show felt wrong. It's that kind of thing. They really bring you up, and they were bringing people on stage, Tyler, so Choir Man, sit in the middle if you don't like being on stage. They encourage you to kind of join in on certain songs. They do 500 miles and they encourage you to do the da-da-da-da bit, and it's very fun. And like clapping and dancing, that kind of thing. If there's a musical where the songs are that well known, then it's fine, because you know them, you get it. Shows that engage the audience with the music and use it as a complement to the story, it works. Yes, okay, Mamma Mia has a kind of broad storyline, but it has a storyline that works with the music it has. Just like Battle of Hell. Battle of Hell does that expertly because the album is designed to do that. It literally just takes it, puts it in order, and adds a motorbike and some really cool outfits. It's fantastic. It's on tour right now. Go see it. Moulin Rouge intentionally does that. You know what doesn't, Tyler? And I showed you this today, and neither of us liked it. And Juliet. I'm sorry if anybody here really likes it, but it's just not very good. And Juliet is like a reimagined version of Romeo and Juliet set afterwards. It's a situation where Anne Hathaway, not to be confused with the Anne Hathaway from Les Mis movie and other things. Anne Hathaway, William Shakespeare's wife, suggests having a different ending, saying like what would happen if Juliet didn't kill herself. And he allows that to happen, and it begins with Juliet waking up to find Romeo dead. She basically goes out on a adventure while escaping from being sent to a convent. What the fuck does that say? Convent? I don't know. You get my gist. And they basically take a road trip to Paris.
I listened to this earlier. I did not get that at all from the from this song.
No, that's my problem. That is my problem. And then Romeo is brought back from the dead by Shakespeare, bringing into It's My Life. If you listen to the soundtrack, that's the Act 1 closer.
My
Tyler.
note about that is that the New Directions did it better in the mashup episode of Glee.
Trigger warning, Glee. Sorry, everyone. Romeo finds Juliet, forgives her for not killing herself, and wants to go back to marrying. Juliet's now engaged to some other guy. Like, it just spirals out of control. And then in the end, right, Tyler, in the end, Shakespeare and Anne Hathaway agree there doesn't need to be a conclusive ending, rather a new beginning. Romeo apologises to Juliet and they go on a first date. What's the point?
Well, that's a slap in the face to everyone who sat in the theatre for 2 hours, isn't it?
I'm so sorry to anybody who really likes this. Like, I really am. But I just can't understand how you do. And they end, Shakespeare and Company end with Can't Stop the Feeling, which gives me Will Schuster vibes so heavily.
I have notes from as I was listening.
Give me your notes.
This feels like I'm just listening to, and don't get me wrong, very, very good singers. Clearly professionals. But it feels like I'm listening to very good singers just at karaoke.
I was literally, as soon as you said that, I was like, I know what he's going to say, because it does sound like they're at karaoke. But also, while on like 3 pints at a minimum and a couple of shots of tequila.
My next note, Backstreet Boys cover, it actually made me angry. Why does it suddenly speed up and then slow back down? Why does it exist? I don't like it at all. And why is there a reprise right at the end?
I'm going to hurt you even more with this. That song, it's sung when Anne Hathaway suggests that Juliet didn't kill himself. Basically, from what I'm picking up, I haven't seen it, from what I'm picking up, Shakespeare's singing about the fact that he wants the ending his way. How much can you not understand the actual song?
More notes. The Baby One More Time. That was pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I quite enjoyed that one.
That is when Juliet wakes up to find Romeo dead.
Oh, I love that. That's so campy.
It's very camp.
Alright, it gets a point for that.
What? Loses a point for that.
Gets a point just because I think that's funny. My next note is we didn't need Domino at all. I'm really sorry. Teenage Dream was okay for about 35 seconds until the guy started singing.
In a French accent. Why?
Yeah, that took me out of it.
In Moulin Rouge, one of the guys sings in a French accent and it works. In this one, it really, really doesn't.
I did enjoy the break free bit near the end, but that's probably just my Ariana Grande brain.
But why are you combining those two songs together? Teenage Dream and Break Free. Just take a book out. Take the whole book out of Moulin Rouge at this point.
Alright, last 2 notes. I didn't ask for a problem. Can't feel my face mashup, and I certainly didn't want this one.
I know.
For context, outside of musical theatre right now, Ariana Grande and The Weeknd are the artists I've been listening to the most. I didn't need this interpretation. I don't want it. Please take it away.
So, that song, the context, Juliet is unsure of her feelings towards Romeo. That is what that song is. The context as well is one of the guys that she's in love with, who's Shakespeare in disguise, invites Romeo to join the family band who's going to play at Juliet and his wedding. What?
Fantastic. Is that why they have like the weird boy band number that I couldn't get all the way through? My final note was just our Claudia alternative queen, Jessie J. Thank God she's at the end of the album.
She does save it a little bit. Also, fun fact, just for slightly before, from what I'm seeing on here, the boy band that they're all in is called DE, Der Boy Band.
I hate it so much.
I wish I was joking. Please, DM us if we're wrong, because that's what I'm getting from... I haven't seen it, that's what I'm getting from multiple Googles.
Do you remember in SpongeBob, they have, the boy band with the hot fish in it? And they... and they're called... Boys Who Cry. That's the vibes I'm getting from this.
The thing is with Anne Juliet, the staging is really cool, and I love the fact they've done a modern version, but I have 2 points. I love the fact that it's like, hey, Juliet's now independent. Like, I don't really think you would wake up and be like, oh man, this guy I've known for a week has killed himself. I better do the same. But it just does not fit. And the story feels so weak. And it feels like, it feels worse than Mamma Mia. And this one, as my second point, does not have ABBA to back it up. The songs don't fit the story. And it's just that somehow, both the story is a mess, the songs are a mess, and them fitting together is equally a mess. It's like a child with a puzzle that doesn't even fit, and it's in 2 separate boxes, making something. Don't get me wrong, I love it. It is very camp, it is very gay, and it makes me very happy that that is being displayed on stage, because we need more gay on stage. If there's something we've missed in this, because I'll be frank, both of us have not seen the show live. The costumes are really cool, but they're like modern Shakespeare chic. If that makes, like, I'm talking the Romeo's in a leather jacket with neck ruffles. If I could describe this musical in any way, it would be leather jacket with neck ruffles. Doesn't quite work. Doesn't quite fit together. 2 completely different time periods. Let's not mix them. If you disagree, please drop us a message and try and convince us. Let us know if we've missed anything or if it's better live. But that musical actively made me assume that I just do not like jukebox musicals as a whole. I'm trying to figure out, because there's a new musical that's literally just come out. Oh my god, it actually is a jukebox musical. Okay, shout out. Tyler has no idea what I'm about to say, but it's going to change his life. Hell's Kitchen, the musical, Tyler.
Like the Gordon Ramsay.
The Gordon Ramsay.
Hell's Kitchen,
the musical.
Fantastic. There better be a Revolve.
Oh, shall I have a look? I don't know if there is a Revolve.
Can they top kitchen counter usage like next to normal? I don't think so.
You know what? I'm looking at the pictures right now. I can't see a kitchen counter in sight. Oh! No, wait! I think I'm so wrong.
Is it not about Gordon Ramsay?
No! I've just read Hell's Kitchen is a jukebox musical loosely based on Alicia Keys' life. I'm so sorry. That'll explain why there was no cooking stuff in there. Please let us know. If you think we'd be Gordon Ramsay in Alicia Keys' life, you know what, fair play to you. I don't know anything about Alicia Keys. This is going to be interesting. We're still going to listen to it and let you know.
Where's the kitchen counter?
Why is there no kitchen counter in Alicia Keys' life? Why is it called Hell's Kitchen if it's not got anything to do with Gordon Ramsay? Hell's Kitchen aside, and jukebox musical aside. Gordon Ramsay aside. What are you holding space for today?
This week, I am holding space for a TV show called 911 by Ryan Murphy, creator of everyone's favourite Jukebox. Jess, we haven't even talked about Glee. Oh my god.
Glee is like the OG jukebox musical. No, it's not a jukebox musical. That's a TV show. We'll talk about that in another episode. Glee is coming, I promise, and we will do a trigger warning beforehand.
911. It's just a good show. It's all about first responders in LA, and they have to respond to loads of insane situations like fires and earthquakes, bridges collapsing. There's a big tsunami in the season 3 premiere. I highly recommend it if you have Disney Plus. I'm waiting for the Glee crossover episode. I'm waiting for them to respond to whatever the emergency is at McKinley High.
Imagine if they're responding to, what's their face? The one who gets pregnant.
They can turn up and help deliver Quinn's baby.
Yeah, or they either turn up to help deliver Quinn's baby, or they save her when she gets into that car crash.
Yeah. If you watch both shows, let us know what emergencies you think they would respond to. And also what songs the New Directions members would really inappropriately be singing during this emergency.
Under pressure. Well, they're taking someone's blood pressure. Staying alive while someone's coding.
That's what I'm holding space for this week. What are you holding space for today?
Today, I'm holding space for Melanie Labari, specifically in Hadestown, not Anne Juliet, because I cannot give this much slander towards Anne Juliet. She does not count. She plays Hermes, and she is the best Hermes I've ever heard. She's fantastic, and I wish I could see her before she leaves Hadestown. Listen to the UK soundtrack of Hadestown. It is amazing. Tune in next week where we're going to be deep diving into Heathers, all things staging, lighting, quick changes, characters, songs, and I promise it won't be as hateful as this one.
It will be controversial.
Oh, it will be. It will be. So yeah, tune in next week and we'll see you soon.